Hello everybody, how y'all doing today? Today's video is going to be about subjective versus objective thinking. This is very important to our daily experience as human beings here. So before I begin, I just want to ask if you like this video, could you give it a like, share it on your social media, and subscribe to the channel to help my channel grow, please. Thank you. So we're gonna talk about subjective and objective thinking and some of their pros and cons. All right. So the subjective way of thinking deals with your personal feelings and opinions, your beliefs, your individual experiences, your emotions, your biases, and your unique perspective. Right. In contrast, we have objective thinking that is based on your conclusions of verifiable facts, data, and logic, rather than personal feelings, biases, or opinions. It separates the what is reality from the how I feel about it, which is, of course, subjective. And instead of looking for support to confirm your bias that you already have, you search for information which would even contradict your initial conclusions, right? Now, the thing is this. So, subjective thinking would be more like a religious person, right? Who just has an opinion and a way of looking at the world and life based on whatever religion they might have, whatever religion that is. Okay? So the problem with this is that we don't know if these beliefs are true or not true. And to be fair, that's just how it is, we just don't know. Right? Whereas at least the objective thinking, right? At least with a person like this, they would investigate with an open mind, and whatever information is found, then it's going to be analyzed, right, and added to the information we already have. So a subjective person would base how they see things, right, on how they feel and believe, no matter what information comes along. All right, because usually these type of people are closed-minded, right, and they don't want to learn anything outside what they're being taught by their religious leaders or fellow members, right? Okay. But there is a good side of subjective thinking, okay? And it comes in the form of art, literature, and design, okay? Because people who have a religious or spiritual mentality, right, tend to have a creative way of thinking, right? So we do need people in the world like this, right? Because you have people who come up with different types of architecture, different types of styles of painting, like abstract, right? Different type of writing, different type of books, poems, and stuff like that, right? And it's part of who we are as human beings. Some of us are very creative. Some of us just follow the narrative, what we're told to believe and stuff like that. And some of us go our own way and we invent our own things, right? And then of course we go back to the objective way of thinking, and the pros or positive points of that is, of course, you have a scientific way of approaching everything, where you try your best not to put your personal bias in it, not to assume anything before you approach a subject or a thing, and you try to learn from it everything you can. And the only time that you form an opinion about it is after you learn all the details about such item or subject, whatever, right? Or person. Okay, so kind of look at it like this, right? So the subjective is like the my way or the highway type of mentality, right? Um, Whereas the opposite of that would be, um, let's try to see a way that we can work things out, right? Again, then the subjective mind would say, well, I've lived in this neighborhood my whole life, right? And I'm not gonna walk past the streets that I already know. And in a way, those other streets that are there, they don't know their names, and they don't even know they really exist because they've never been there. They don't know that part of the area, right? Whereas you have an objective person, right? They explore all the areas, right? And try to collect as much information of all those areas as possible, right? Now, I think that to progress as human beings, as a species, we need both of these mentalities, okay? Usually, a person would be on one side of the fence, right? And the other side of the fence would technically be their enemy. But I think the only way to progress, the only way to progress would be if we have both these type of mentalities existing at all times, all right? Because we see that both of them actually do contribute to humanity and our progress. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yes. So, when you have a subjective mentality, now one of the cons or one of the negatives is the way you think about other people and how you interact with them, right? Because if you have a closed-minded religious perspective, right, it's going to make you think that you know the truth and everybody else does not, and they're lost, right? So they need to live and believe the way you do, or else they're going to be in big trouble, obviously, right? So, this is a problem because people are basing how they see themselves and others on something they don't even know is true or not, right? In contrast, you would have other people who don't think this way, right? The objective thinkers would learn about other people and learn from other people, right? Collect all the data they can and try not to be biased and try to be fair in their opinion of others, and not try to condemn anyone, right? Because information is always being learned, new data is always being acquired, so we have the chance to always learn something new from one another. All right. I don't want to make this video too long. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And this is just my thoughts for the day. It's been accumulating for a little while. I just wanted to share it with you guys. So I hope this makes you think, right? And what I really hope is that you do not allow yourself to become or continue to be your own worst enemy. And what I mean by that specifically is don't live your life with a closed mind, okay? We can't learn this way. It's not good. It's not healthy mentally for you. It's a serious psychological problem that a lot of people have. All right? Yeah, so that's about it for today. So, thank you for watching. Peace and blessings. Have a good day.